Hey guys, it's Max. Today we are comparing the video quality of the brand new iPhone XS Max, which has the same camera as the iPhone XS, to the iPhone X. Now I'm starting off using the selfie cameras, and the new iPhone XS and XS Max have an updated sensor and camera design, along with 1080p at 60 frames per second now, which the old one didn't have. And Apple talked a lot about the Smart HDR features in the camera, and those do also translate to video as long as you're not shooting 4K 60 or 60 FPS. So as you guys can see right here, we have much better dynamic range with the new iPhone XS Max, and you guys can also compare the audio quality for yourselves. And now I switched the iPhone XS Max's selfie camera to 1080p at 60 frames per second, where the iPhone X is still at 30, the maximum it could do. And as you can tell, the dynamic range did go down on the iPhone XS Max, but it still looks better than the iPhone X.
So here we are shooting 4K 30 with the wide lens, and there's a couple of things you'll notice. First of all, there's more detail on the XS Max, and there's better dynamic range as well. As you can see, there's better color reproduction in the sky. Same with this shot as well, there's more detail on the XS Max, and the iPhone X isn't able to get that color in the sky. Here I cropped in 200% to give you a better look at the difference. In this shot, we switched to the Telephoto Lens, and you can instantly see how much more detail there is. As you can see, both phones are able to autofocus incredibly quickly. However, we did see a huge difference when there's a face involved. It's pretty hard to tell what's going on in these clips, so let's look at it frame by frame. As you can see, the trees are in the background. The XS Max was able to switch focus to my face almost instantly, while the X was still focused on the background. It wasn't until this point that the X locked in focus. At this point, we can see that both phones are locked in on the background. And just like that, the XS Max is focused on the face, and the X is still on the background.
So the new iPhone XS and XS Max have stereo recording, unlike the iPhone X. Now I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there should be some music in your right ear, and I'm talking from the left, so it should be separating it, whereas on the iPhone X, it should all be coming from both sides. And there is an option to turn off stereo recording in the settings if you'd like to do that.
Even though the iPhone X already had optical image stabilization, as you can see, the XS Max has greatly improved. In this shot, we also noticed the better stabilization. And here, we notice better detail in the leaves and much better color reproduction in the grass. Now let's look at some slow motion. This is the original shot at 4K 30. We already see better dynamic range on the XS Max. The story is exactly the same with slowed down 4K 60. You can see much better detail and contrast in the rocks. And finally, here's 1080p at 240 frames per second. There's a massive difference in dynamic range and detail. Here's perhaps an even bigger difference shot in low light. As you can see, the painting on the iPhone X is a little bit blown out, and the hot spot from the lamp is much larger. There's also quite a bit less noise as well, so the dynamic range differences are obvious in low light as well. Now here's a front-facing selfie video. We can see that the XS Max's camera is slightly more zoomed in than before. There's also more detail that's apparent when you look at the hair. And finally, the white balance is better as well. Here's a nighttime shot. This is probably the most obvious display in dynamic range differences you can get. After cropping in, you can easily read the comfort in sign on the XS Max. On the X, it's completely blown out, and all of the blue has turned to overexposed white. And if you look at the shadows, they're just as bright on the XS Max. So based off the massive video quality differences in this video, it's obvious that the XS and XS Max got a pretty serious camera upgrade. Thanks for watching guys, we've got a photo comparison coming up really soon, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And let us know what you thought about this comparison in the comment section below.
If you enjoyed this video, like it and hit that subscribe button. Also, check out our price guide, which makes it extremely easy to find the best deals on Apple products, updated daily. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we'll see you in the next video.